It's just coincidence that as I'm filming these videos, today we had a lesson. It's the day of Pentecost in church, and today we had a lesson on Pentecost. And part of the lesson was a discussion of Babel and the Tower of Babel, if you remember that. It was a tower that was being built by this group of people who believed they knew so much they can build the tallest tower in the world. And God came down, saw this tower, and decided to put a wrench into that plan by making it so that all these intelligent, smart people could not understand each other by changing all the languages. And because of that, they no longer could communicate, no longer could build this massive city in this great tower, and it stopped. What's coincidental and turned ironic is one thing that I jumped into when I started working, and this was many, many years ago, and I was working in radio. I was put in charge of a Christian teaching station. That's a station that basically plays church sermons all day. And somewhere, somehow, there was this pastor that was in one of the rotations that was doing this thing on radio and had expanded version of the podcast that talked about why we don't sing the same songs. It was a long discussion on how all these different people, different denominations, different cultures and religions themselves, were all supposedly praying to the same guy as Christians, or similar guys as some greater being of the universe, but we weren't speaking the same language. We literally weren't talking the same stuff, and the songs, the literal sense of the songs, different cadences, different words, different rhythms, different actions, some with music, some without music, some with drums, some without drums. None of us could agree on what songs to sing, yet for Christianity, we all were praying to the same guy. This is an issue that, oddly enough, comes to part in conversations with people in general about what's going on. Because if you are let's keep with the Christian theme, and you are a Pentecostal person, you believe certain things, you're going to believe that other people believe things about your religion that may or may not be true, or will basically discriminate you because of that. And same will go along if you are a Methodist person. Same will go along if you're a plain old Baptist, which, trust me, there's more than one flavor of Baptist. And a whole lot goes on to people who are Catholic, even to the point where people were worried that the Pope was going to start putting words in the mouth of, or the head of JFK, and he was going to start speaking from Pope language. These things are worried about. We can't sing the same songs in religion, and we don't sing the same songs when we're having discussions with each other. That's why the Conversation Project exists, but has issues connecting with some people, because we're not singing the same songs. And it's not an appreciation for rap and country. It's rap is crap, country sucks. It's one of those things. If you remember back 30 years ago when rap music was basically becoming really, really mainstream, and a lot of musicians were having rap tracks and things on their songs, and one of the biggest sort of selling points to a lot of radio stations, remember radio stations, was all rock, no rap. Because Run DMC and Aerosmith didn't break that barrier back in the 80s, and we were just going backwards. So anybody that had a rap track on a rock song or an alternative song, it was killed. There were like 5 different versions of Fly by Sugar Ray, and the whole reason to have the song go was to have Supercat rapping on the song with Mark McGrath. And there's so many different versions of it. You listen to it, you never know where it's going. This is not about music and that song, which I love. I love Sugar Ray, by the way. This is about conversations. So if you're a person who listens to classical music exclusively and can't stand the hard drums of pure heavy metal, then you have issues with having conversations with people who don't see things eye to eye, or going over the same stories that they're looking at. You may not care about the stories they care about. Problem is, a story is a story. An action is an action. If a bomb drops in the middle of the city, the bomb drops for everyone in the city. Everyone is affected by whatever happened at that point of contact. Whether you're worried about radiation, whether you're worried about the actual things that were destroyed there, whether you're worried about what's going to take to rebuild, whether you're worried about who actually dropped the bomb. There are many different stories that come from this one event. And with that, Conversation Project presents to you the main story and a couple of ideas, a couple of things on the event. A lot of it is from the bent, the basic standpoint of the article, because we do all different sides of the aisle. And then some of it comes from me and my perspective. I happen to be a writer-center, 50-year-old black independent, if you will. I'm fiscally a lot more liberal than I need to be, but I am conservative on a lot of issues going forward. However, I have a whole lot of tolerance for the way things are and the way other people want. So technically I'm more libertarian, but it's hard to really classify yourself anyway these days without putting your foot in your mouth. So that's the standpoint of where we come from with the Conversation Project and things like that. The stories we give you to you are essentially the pure lyrics. They are the music. They are the staccato notes. And then how you interpret it, you know, how you what speed you want to play it in, how you want to play the background. If you want to, you know, do your own special heavy metal version of classical music, which is awesome, or classical versions of heavy metal music, also awesome. You get a kick out of it. It's sort of a, you know, novelty thing. But does it stand? Can a rap guy go to a country guy concert? I think it works. I think they get along. I think musicians love musicians, and they don't particularly care. In fact, the big secret that I learned when I was young, as you know, the rap crossovers going into other stuff, and grew into my appreciation of grunge specifically and a lot of rock music going forward, especially my most favorite band in the world, Living Colour, is that music has no color. Music has no actual designation. If you want to be an Asian person and play punk rock, that's fine. If you want to be a Caucasian person and you fall in love with Japanese opera, that's awesome. Do what you want to do. Conversation should be more like that. And the Conversation Project will do more to do things like that by bringing to you the pure story as possible, mixed in with a bit of context and a bit of commentary. And then you jump in with your points. And trust me, people tell me I'm an idiot every single day on the internet, so you won't be the first. And hopefully won't be the last because I keep doing this thing. So, help me keep doing this thing. Go to our website. This is theconversationproject.com. Click on the links to do many things. We have sponsorship links, so you can visit some of our sponsors to help pay the bills. You can become a full partner and directly help fund and pay the bills. You can do the most important things, which is follow us on our social media platforms and engage in stories. That is on Facebook, facebook.com/Conversation Project. Say it again. Facebook.com/This is Conversation Project. And X, because they basically finally started to kill the Twitter name, X.com/th_conversation. When you engage in our stories, we know what stories you think are more conversational. We know what stories to talk about in the greater scheme of things. We post stories all day long on those feeds, so we have to, you know, whittle them down to something. That's that. Go to the website, follow the videos, share them with more people so we have more people in conversation, and tell us something about yourself. Tell us something about you feel. Be honest. Don't be hateful. Don't be evil. If you are, you know, trolls are trolls. But hey, the Conversation Project is here for you to have conversations about the news and stories that are really worth talking about, not just feeding Gaza all day or Trump all day or environment all day because that's what the agenda has. Our agenda is your agenda. Help us set the agenda.